The BMW X3 for 2022 is updated and it's evolved. They might call it a facelift or they might call it a refreshed look, but really what BMW has done is bring many of the things that we love in some of their fancier sedans to one of our very favorite small SUVs. We recently took a test drive and this is what we discovered. It starts with the face of the X3, so you'll notice it does have the kidney-shaped grille and it does have some angularity to it here in the slats, but it is not that super aggressive animated grille that we see on some of them. If you are an X-Series driver and you appreciate something that's a little more elegant and demure, you'll like this grille. There is a sensor option here for the surround view camera. So if you get the surround view camera, you'll have a camera there. There's sensors down here. We do have some new intake grills and we have new headlights here. So these are these L-shaped LEDs, which are all new for the 2022 model year. But probably most interesting is what you see on the back of the BMW X3. Even though the size and the shape and the scale of the X3 hasn't changed all that much, you might not actually notice that when you see these new taillights. So they are graphic, they are 3D, they have this very distinct shape to them here and leading into the rear of the tailgate. There's also some new exhaust tips. They are chrome and they actually are exhaust pipes that come out of the rear of the bumper that give the rear end of the X3 a really elegant and premium look and feel. The rest of it is pretty much the rear of the X3 as we have known it. You'll see the X3 badging here. You'll see the engine and xDrive here if it's an xDrive all-wheel drive, and then on the interior there is the cargo area that we are used to. There's a cargo cover here and there's actually a little more storage here underneath the cargo floor, including a space where you can store the cargo cover, which is pretty clever. A lot of things in the X3 are left to the owner to do the heavy lifting, keeps the price down, allows you to appreciate the technology that you want and not so much the things that you don't. One of those is the seats, which are manual. But it's pretty easy. You just pull the tab here on the shoulder of the seat and the seat folds down. They also actually fold up pretty easily too. The X3, being the smaller of BMW's SUVs, doesn't have a ton of rear seat passenger space, but enough. I'm 5'8" and I've got plenty of space here for my legs, plenty of comfort. Then there is the armrest that folds down, cup holders that pop out of the armrest for when you need those. And then rear seat passengers have 2 USB ports. In our model, there are heated rear seats and there's climate control, so everyone can be really comfortable. There also is a really beautiful panoramic sunroof that gives lots of light and creates an airier feeling in the rear seat of this car. In a small SUV like this, a panoramic sunroof really is a great thing because you keep your passengers from feeling claustrophobic. Our test model has this really beautiful leather, oyster colored or cream colored leather upholstery, but one of the things that's new for 2022 is a leatherette option, which reduces the price. It's perforated, so it can be heated and cooled. It really is a nice material. It lasts a long time. You might think of it as vegan leather, and it will shave a little bit of money off the price of the BMW. There are a lot of really great details. You'll actually see a little bit of the tail light here in the side, the red calipers that are on the M Sport package that we're driving. These are 21-inch wheels that have a new and unique BMW wheel to them. You'll notice there are air intakes here. Those air intakes are actually mimicked on the rear of the car as well. Overall, it is the X3 that we know and love, but just a little bit more so. With a price that starts just under $50,000, the M Sport package on the model that we're test driving coming in just about $60,000. It is a premium luxury SUV. Our model has all-wheel drive. They call that X drive. It has head-up display, which is a really nice premium feature to have on this car, and it has the leather upholstery. So those things definitely take the price up. It has a premium sound system as well. So without those things, it is possible to get this car with not all the bells and whistles and still have that really wonderful BMW experience. One thing that I would recommend though, buy the driver assistance safety features and learn to use them. That is the true luxury, is being able to just pop on the cruise control and let the car do all the dirty work of getting you through the 5 o'clock rush hour traffic or getting to the airport without having a lot of stress. That is one of the greatest features in this car. With the BMW X3, yes, there are updates and changes. Nothing too jarring, nothing that has reinvented the wheel. In fact, it's really just going to feel familiar, and that's what I like about it. So they've brought some of the things from some of the other cars, some of their fancier sedans, into the X3 to allow this little crossover SUV to evolve in a very elegant way. So some of the things that you'll notice that are new, this is a 12.3-inch screen here. It is the first time we've had this in the X3. It's grown by about 2 inches. This screen also is a 12.3-inch screen, and it's evolved a little bit. It's not a lot different than what you would have seen in the last model year. Some of the things that we do have in here are the Hey BMW, Hey BMW, the voice assistants, which is really nice, cancel. And you can use that, it's cloud-based, and you can use it to set your navigation, you can use it to set cabin temperature, change the radio station, things like that. Cancel. And one of the cool things in here is gesture control. So I can actually turn the radio up or down doing this. I can also do this. You can see this little thumb in there, so I can change the radio station. If you notice, it's changing the radio station there by doing this. So that's kind of a nice thing. You get used to it. There's sensors here in the panel, and then there's actually a sensor up here in this this control center, and that senses your hand going to the screen and also allows you to do that. It's a little novel, but actually right now it's novel. In the future, we'll be using things like that and the voice assistant as our go-to way for controlling the systems inside of our car. So I appreciate that BMW did that. Another thing that you'll see is an all-new panel here for climate. This is where your driver assistance and safety systems are. So you can configure these systems however you want. So you want to let's see, we want to look at the pedestrian detection around us. We can turn that off. We can set it up. We can turn them all on, however you'd like to set this up, which is kind of a nice detail. And then here we have hot buttons. So these hot buttons, and they're sensitive. So notice here how I'm just scrolling my finger right along the panel, and you see the settings up here. So here is navigation, interior lighting. That's my ambient lighting, so I can actually set my ambient lighting, and if I want to, I can actually change my color. So if I want green lighting instead of purple or lilac and white, I can set it up however I'd like. So you see, and here it shows you what the lighting is. It's too bright out right now for that to show up here, but it's kind of cool. And then for 6, I can turn on or off gesture control. So if that's getting on your nerves, you can just turn that off. And then here, these things are not assigned, but I do have some navigation set here. So you could actually cancel navigation. Hey BMW.
Possible nickel.
Cancel navigation.
I've ended the guidance.
Thank you. So you can actually set up things like school or airport or home if you want to. If you've got different people driving the car, then you can set that up. I always like having the airport in my navigation, so I know even if somebody else is driving, I can look at it and see how long it's going to take to get there. So it's really nice that you're able to set these things up. You can also add wireless charge here. There are cup holders. The screen is a touch screen, but it also has this dial controller here with hot buttons for media, map, home, back, and then your drive mode selectors are here. We're going to test out the drive modes in a second. And you also have controls here on the steering wheel. This is an M Sport edition, meaning it has the M badging. It's got some M Sport details, not only on the interior, but also under the hood. It is the 330i, so it's the smaller 4-cylinder engine, but it's just fine for the size of this car. If you want to have a little bit more fun, go for the X40i, which gives you 382 horsepower. If you want to have a little, this is the 330i with the M Sport package. It has the mid 200 horsepower and torque. If you want to have a little more fun, go up to the 40i, the X3 40i, and that'll give you in the high threes, 380 horsepower or so, and higher torque. So that gives you much more of a performance drive and a performance feel. But let's take the X3 30i for a drive and see how she does. And I'm going to put it in sport because that is where we're going to have the most fun, even in a small 4-cylinder like this one. There are a lot of really great luxuries in this car, including pre-tensioner seatbelts. So you just put the car in drive and start to drive, and the seatbelts tighten here to keep you safely seated. Another feature in this car is head-up display, which is a really nice feature to have. It keeps your speed and the speed limit. It displays the speed limit sign in the windshield in front of you. So you don't have to constantly look over here or even look down at the instrument cluster to see what the speed is or to see how fast you're going. It's displayed right on the window in front of you. So 50 miles an hour is our speed limit here. And in sport mode, this is pretty nice. The X3's drive experience is pretty good. In the 40i, however, you also get a mild hybrid, which gives you even more power because it has a 48-watt motor that stores. A mild hybrid basically is an electric motor that assists the gas engine. So it gives you a little more power, and it gives you maybe a tiny bit of fuel savings, but that's not really the point. The point really is to give you an electrified system that boosts the performance of your gas engine. Another option that buyers can opt for in the X3 is the Pro Driver Assist suite of features that allow you basically semi-autonomous driving for the highway. So if you're driving on at a highway speed, not super fast, but definitely higher than regular street speeds, and you're on a divided highway, you basically can relax your hands. You'll get a prompt to put them on the wheel every now and then. It will watch your eyes. It will monitor your eyes and make sure that you're not falling asleep, and basically do the driving for you. That's not on our test model, but that advanced adaptive cruise system essentially is a great feature if you are a long distance driver, if you have a long commute, or you do a lot of road trips. Final thoughts on the 2022 BMW X3. Well, it comes with two engine options, a smaller and a larger. I personally would go for the larger. That does add about $10,000 to the price, but it adds a lot of fun to the experience. The look and feel is very familiar. It's what you know and expect an X3 to be. There are no surprises. The taillights might be a little adventurous for some people. It's not the more elegant look and feel, but it does let you know that this is the new redesign of the BMW X3. Overall, very well priced, very well put together. Even if you do go for the smaller engine option, you won't be disappointed. It's very powerful, especially in sport mode. I think BMW did a nice job with the refresh of the X3 for 2022.